Welcome, lovely poker friends. Today I want to show you some stuff you can do with the solver GTO Plus. Here the file is for a single raise pot, in position, low jack versus big blind. You have the out of position range, the in position range, and we click on run solver to see the database. This is a subset with 44 flops all solved. If you click here, you see more data about it. Out of position, the big blind has an auto check, the only option, so it's not allowed to donk. And now the in position player can check, bet small, or can bet bigger. Given that is a subset, we can see the average tendencies for every option. Check, small bet, big bet. So check is 36%, bet 40% with small sizing and 23% with the bigger sizing. We can also filter for the smaller sizing, for the bigger sizing, or for the checks. And then you see on which boards you should mainly check range or bet big, like a lot of checks on the smaller boards, for example. There are a lot of other stuff you can see in that case. You can plot it or see some visual graphics. On the right side you have the flop filters. Now we have it for monotone boards. There are two in the subset, and then you see how often you should check or bet big on those. Also for top card with the ace, for example, we have 9 boards, or if we take the low boards, then you will see a lot of checking is going on. So if 9 is the highest card or lower, then 52% checks in average. That in a solver solution where everybody plays perfect. So it might be different if you play against your opponent. On those 2 cards on the top, that is play against the solution. So it's mainly a trainer you can practice. There is the table. You sit down. You can play in position or out of position. There are instructions. You come to a website where you can read all the instructions, how that works. And then it directly starts. You get a hand. You were pre-flop raiser from low jack, big blind defended, what to do right now. And whenever you want to lock in your decision, before you do, make sure to press control. Then you see a hint how often the solver would do what with which tendencies. And on the top you will also see how your range is created. So there is never a big bet taken. So it's either a jack or a small bet. Now I did bet small on that flopperino. Turn comes an ace. What now? I would bet small here. The solver says that is correct. And you see that also on the top, where an overbet is never taken really. This time our opponent has pocket 5s. We can see that if we click on his hands. And obviously against the small bet there's nothing he can do with that. Pocket 7s on that flopperino. It's pretty much mixed. I go for the smaller bet against my opponents. On that turn it seems like a very clear check. Always make sure before you log in, you press control. And in that case, sometimes I would hero call. We block 9-7 and 7-4. I don't think our opponent would, overbet an 8 or so. So that is a king or nothing. On the left side, you have an RNG. If you want to take that, you see the pot odds. Just, to keep that in your mind. And the solver in that case thinks pocket 7s is a fold, and you can see what the solver out of position does with the ace jack, with the ace of hearts, right? He likes to overbet the river. You can go into the tree on the top and have a look what he overbets as well. It's in my color scheme it's dark blue. It might be different on yours. Then you can have a look into the graphics and click through a bit. There is the ace jack offsuit. If you move your mouse away, it will go away from the left side. That's why we press F9 to lock it. And then you can have a look on the left side. So green is check. Bright blue is small bet. middleish blue is, 75%, and dark blue is overbet in my color scheme. On the right side, you see what he does with straights, sets, 2 pairs, top pairs, and so on. Also there, just browse it through. Sometimes you see, okay, top pair with good kicker gets bet on the flop, but top pair with weak kicker not anymore. You can also lock decisions and solve it afterwards again. Make sure you do not destroy the whole subset and save it as an other file. So for example, in that case, the board is king 6-5. Some players would say, oh, second pair, I want to check. So let's check the queens, jacks, 10s, 9s, 8s. And let's say whenever we have a good king, we want to bet it large and not small, or not weighted, or not mixed. And then you can lock it, and you can see how much EV you lose with that. You can see how the response is from your opponent, or you can lock how you imagine your opponent plays, and try to figure out what is best against that. So GTO is not always perfect against perfect. It can be your locked system, which is obviously not perfect anymore. And yeah, on the right side, you can see what our opponent folded against the big bet. I betted big on the 10 with the 10-9 on the 8-6-3, and he folded king jack. Now we have the 10s. I bet large. He calls. We already looked. He had king jack, and that might become quite interesting depending on the run out. So I overbet the turn, and on that river, I'm not sure, but king jack will find some hero folds, because what other hands does he have? Check call on flop on turn, right? Against big bets. And yeah, this is the perfect solver solution. Always remember, right? So it might be different against your opponent. Your opponent might act different. You will find leaks from your opponent or from yourself, and whenever possible, try to adjust. You can have a look on the graphics through different systems. You can have a look to the combos percentage or EV. On the right side here in the trainer, you have the history where you can browse through a bit. I already showed you the database for the flop. That also exists for turn and river. You click on the turn there, and then on turn reports. But always remember that it's just for that one flop and not for the whole database. So you let out of position check, and then you see on the turn the check, small bet, middle bet, or the over bet. You also see the frequencies on the bottom, like the average frequency, but you want to see, okay, when I have to check really and when I can take the overbet. So please have a look to the different turn cards, or filter it for the checks and overbets. Now I selected another flop, and again, that goes so quickly. We went to the turn, out of position checks, and now we see all that stuff again for all 49 possible turn cards. As you see the graphics, you can change something if you want to see the EV, equity, and so on, what a card changes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy your day and good luck on the tables. Don't forget to click the like button. Thank you. Bye bye.